Hello and welcome to us P video, and today we're looking at Immortal X-Men issue 9, and this is the variant cover by Noto with Mystique, Reeve and Darkholme on it. And yes, I got the cover right compared to issue 8. And this arrived today, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to review it now, because sometimes with Immortal X-Men I can be really behind on giving my run through and my thoughts on the story. Now, this is after Judgment Day is done, and I've got to say I'm a bit confused, because at the end of issue 7, Kurt and Moira McTaggart were going off on what looked like a mission, but I've not seen that materialize somewhere, unless it's materialized in that event somewhere. I didn't see it in the main event, which I reviewed. I certainly don't remember it, and it just felt like, was it just a case that Orchis turned up and that was what that mission was done? Maybe that was it, and there was nothing more to it. I felt like there was meant to be more to it, and more to that relationship in the story. So I'm a bit bemused. If you know, tell me where I need to go look, and I will go and find it, because I really want to find out what happened. So the ramifications of Judgment Day are done. Now, the other thing that is bizarre, Magneto is dead, and Magneto is not coming back. I have no idea why. I feel like I've missed something there as well. So if you know, point me in the right direction. I don't look like not having answers to things. Aurora talks about not the moon, Mars. Oh my goodness, the Arico, and how this feels like this has brought them better. They're a warrior race, and you know, they lost. They've also have an opportunity to beat the crap out of Uranus, whatever they want. And we also get this moment where Kitty Pryde is thinking, and she says that, well, there's going to be, somebody's going to get their head blown off very soon, and I'm going to have blood everywhere. And in my hair, my curly hair, it's hard to get out, etc. So she then goes on to a little spill about the Jean Grey, the Phoenix Foundation, which is about resurrected humans, which Exodus does not agree. He believes it's an abomination that we are sharing this with the humans. However, she says it's really good that we're doing this. Think of the people that we do help. And let's remember, the X-Men were about helping mankind back in the day. So it makes sense that even though they are a country, that they still want to be helping mankind, humans, etc., etc. And also they're a country, so giving foreign aid is important, that we help our neighbors, etc. So much to Exodus's dismay. And then Hope pipes up and says, shouldn't we be sharing this miracles among the lowly? And he says, much to everybody's laughter, he says, I did not share that my thoughts with you for it to come back on me. Anyway, she's starting to feel like the Quiet Council can work, but then the story turns dark. And I tell you what, this is probably one of the best reads I've had in a while, and I've read some good stuff, but this is one of my best reads in a while. I enjoyed this from cover to cover. So Sinister pops in, and then White Queen immediately wants to talk about Dot's status and this imposter. He says, well, we've all had imposters ruining our good names, and don't you remember what I just did on a Judgment Day? And then Destiny simply says he's going to kill Hope, and he's like, oh, you spoil sport, and then Exodus blows him up. Yeah, very embarrassing. And then they got blood in his hair, and then he says, what's going on? And then we get this little note here, Moira, 7th death. Now, that didn't dawn on me what that meant right then, but we'll get into that in a minute. So Kieron Gillan is a talented writer on this. Lucas Wernick is on the art. David Carell is the color artist. VC's Clay and Cows is on the letters. As always, Tom Miller and Jay Bowen are also there in design without Kieron this time. Yes, they got their job done without him interfering. I could just imagine it. That you try to do your job in design, you know what you want, and you got Kieron next to you said, no, I want this. Because that's what I would be like if it was around if I was rolling out a project or something in a building, I'm very like that. I want it done this way. This is how I want this to look. You know, when I reach out to designers, give me floor plans on health and safety, you know, I'm very particular on, I want this in there, I want that in there, and it has to look a certain way. So I understand Kieron in the background, but it's interesting that he wasn't in the background of this. So earlier in the day, we go back to Destiny reaching out to Sinister, and they're talking about how their plans didn't go as planned. But we do work together. And he's talking about being judged. And she says, yeah, I was judged for the thing. And he said, and he's still stewing over the fact that he was not judged. And she says, you will be judged, you know, don't give up. And then she says, I wonder if Dr. Status was a judge. Now, the ironic thing about this is, was this Sinister not judged because he is not the real Mr. Sinister? Maybe Dr. Status was judged. Maybe he's the real Mr. Sinister. And this Sinister just happens to be here and getting cloned in all sorts. So he's really frustrated, and he needs to create a permanent solution. And he talks about how he can go back before Magneto and back to the council with Moira 5. But he doesn't want to relive Judgment Day. He doesn't want that at all. He can't go through this not being judged. He feels particularly judged for not being judged. He's, you know, it's very interesting how this is getting, this one moment that didn't happen is bugging the hell out of him. So he takes a step back with his mutated tortoise and cat that he's created, and he says, prepare 2 new Moiras. So, and he is going to create them to do something else. And what he intends to do is kill the council. You know, he's going to kill the council, and he is going to use Moira 6 to do this. And any individual clone that he creates has 10 deaths before they're obsolete, and then you have to move on to the next clone, etc. So he wants to download the data with his cat and his tortoise, just chilling there, and he wants to go out there. And so this is, we've already seen attempt number 1, and this is how it looks. This is cancel, and this is the who he kills in each thing. So he goes in there with test number 2. So he intended to blow them out. However, Destiny saw that. She got them all out there, and then they went and found Sister and killed him. So death number 2 is done. And then it starts getting a little bit hilarious, because every time they do this, it's almost like a given saying, what the hell is going on? Do you know what I mean? And this time it's Mystique who gets him, and then Destiny who says he's got a gun, and then he goes kaboom. He has a failsafe because he doesn't want anybody reading his brain as well of why he is doing what he's doing. So when he dies, it all starts again. So we are on death number 4, and he's trying to understand, right, how do I get around this? If I do this action with Destiny, then this happens. He's trying to predict how his actions take thing, you know, if he goes from it from a different angle rather than not the formal going in and striking, etc. So, but he's prepared to keep doing these to get what he wants. So, and then it just gets funnier and funnier. So there's this section here. Sister turns up. He's wearing a battle armor and carrying some ludicrous weapon, and killed Exodus. And Hope fries him with Storm's powers. The next one is Sister comes in with an amazing gun that would shame Cable, kills Exodus and Hope, and then Storm fries him. And then this one, he just turns up and the system just frizzles out and nothing really happens, and he just kills himself. Oh, it's just amusing. And then the next one is he comes in, he's like a sniper, and he's killing people, and then Exodus flies in and takes him out. Then the next one is Sinister comes in, he's claiming he can clear his brain, so he's trying to trick them, and then he pops Xavier's head and gets fingered in his eyes by the White Queen. death number 8. Death number 9 is he sends some crazy creature in that can fire lots of laser beams, and it kills. It goes on a killing frenzy, gets Mystique, Destiny gets out the door, and then they also disappear, and then it ends up being a bit frustrated, and yeah, what the hell is going on? And then you get this beautiful, beautiful piece of art, which I absolutely love. It's got all these things that are going wrong. He's drawing little pictures of himself and, you know, who to sort of kill. So he's on number 10, and he's thinking this is impossible. And he's talking to Dark Beast, who's just ahead now. And he makes this comment that you're not even the darkest beast anymore, hinting that X-Force's beast, our beast, is actually, you know, darker than him, which he probably actually is right now. He probably is actually sort of turning into Dark Beast in the background, even though he loathed him. So but he's still not prepared to go back to Moira 5 and Judgment Day at all. And he says, come on, Nathaniel, you're a scientist and an Englishman, damn it. Think like an Englishman, us British, with our cup of tea. I haven't even got a cup of tea. I've got a coffee, by the way. My wife's drinking tea downstairs. But, you know, it's all going wrong. You can see the cab biting Shaw down there. I think that's pretty awesome. So, they're all drinking some pop from that Shaw has given them. And he comes in saying, I'm going to show you psychically how this came about. And what he has done, he has sort of cloned Xavier's brains and created some sort of bomb that traps the psychics. Destiny is a little bit too late to say disconnect when they connect to it. Wow, and this is really nice. So 100 years, Stan the Man. That's really nice. What a legend. What an absolute legend. Still can't believe he's gone, man. Anyway, then he's got them in a trance. He sends in these little foreign eyes. They're shooting every other council man. Then he uses this remedy of Remy turning mass into energy and Harry Leyland that increases mass. He puts them together in some sort of liquid stuff. It blows Exodus to pieces, which is brilliant and genius. You know, that's what evil genius does, he says. And then he, you know, he takes out Hope next, because this is what supervillains do. They come up with some crazy stuff. So he says he's nothing like Status, and you are nothing without me. I'm Mr. Sinister, but I will not end up like Moira, being shunted out of the group as he was. So he does all this damage, and then he teleports out, leaving some of the others around. There is not many council men about, and then Kate says, don't worry, I know what's going on. I think one of us is about to win Shaw's betting pole. So they're going to go find him. And then he's going to be judged now. So it's an absolutely bonkers issue. And the fact that Shaw had a betting already on Sinister to try and kill the Quiet Council is absolute genius in the background. I really did enjoy this issue from start to finish. It was just pure genius, and it's been brewing for a long time. And obviously we have Sins of Sinister coming up, which is going to be the next ploy. But it still doesn't make sense to me why. I think other than the Dr. Status thing, which actually is unless Sinister sent him out to do those things, wasn't necessarily Sinister's fault. So it does make you wonder, if he's gone to these extremes, did he actually create Dr. Status, or is he actually the clone of the original Sinister? Because that's never been proven, has it? Who was actually the Alpha Sinister back in, what's it, Powers of X, where he killed one. Did he kill him Sinister and say, I can do it? It was almost like that sort of conversation. So we'll never know who is the clone. And we know that there were 4 clones broken from the last issue when Destiny went in there that escaped. And maybe he's one of those 4, perhaps. And the original is actually dead, as in he originally died back then. And that's it. So anyway, a really interesting issue. I really did enjoy it. Jenny, I'm looking forward to hearing from you on your thoughts on this really interesting, fun issue, and if you picked up anything that I missed. Make sure you look after yourself, very important these days. Thank you to those that are subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed and like my stuff, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. Make sure you look after yourself, very important these days. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.